Here, come to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 2032. A bit of this and a bit of that. Yeah, I thought it was time to give you guys an update on what's going on, what's happening, and everything else. And we are on time tonight. We haven't taken our walk yet. I had to take my reflective vest off because it would have been very shiny on the thing, but it's sitting over there because somebody I filled up Zeffie's water bowl. I gave her dinner before going for part of getting walk, so when she came back her dinner would be ready for her, and she decided that I'm going to eat right now. So she went and ate. I went and got ready to go for the walk and everything else, and I asked her if she wanted to go for a walk, and she just kept munch. I was like, fine. I looked at the time, went, I'm going online. So she is somewhere, probably still eating her dinner. I thought she'd come back in here again, but she may be laying on the other side of the curtain on the cool tile, or she could be back. Don't hear her eating, so not sure where she is. But I hope you've all had a super fantastic sparkling Saturday. We've had a very interesting Saturday here. We went for our walk this morning. We decided to go and get Chick-fil-A for breakfast this morning since they're closed on Sundays, and so we went and did that, which was really cool. They've got this new drink out. Now, I've always liked their lemonade, but now they've got a limeade out, which is their lemonade with some key lime added to it. So I got that to try, and that was very yummy. Normally, I don't get it because it's like full of sugar, but I thought, key lime? That might go down well. So we tried it. And I honestly can't tell you the last time I had their lemonade. I think Brad was still alive when I last had their lemonade, because he really likes their lemonade. So we would go through Chick-fil-A and we would just order the lemonade. And yeah, so I don't even remember the last time I had Chick-fil-A with him. Yeah, and we had the lemonade then, and he's been gone 7.5 years now, almost 7.5 years. So yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, probably close to 8 or 9 years since we last had Chick-fil-A's lemonade. So anyway, but so yes, got to enjoy that today. We came home and then we just got stuck in on doing stuff around. I had breakfast first and then got stuck in doing stuff around the house. I use a system called Forever for all of my digital photographs and even some documents as well. I use it when I'm doing my genealogy, and because it's a great place that I can sort and organize photographs of ancestors and things like that. And I also use it with my clients. They get a free account and a $20 off coupon on their first purchase, but I sign them up for free. I make up a Gmail account for them. I use that to sign them up for the Forever account. And then any documentation or photographs I find of their ancestors as we're researching the family tree get uploaded into Forever, and not only onto their tree, but also into their Forever account, so they always have it. So if they let their account with Ancestry or MyHeritage lapse or whatever, they still have access to the documents that we found. And I create a album for each person, and in the description, and part has a description. In the description, I'll have who this person is, when they were born, when they died, where they've lived. I'll put all their information in that information panel on the side there. And that way they have a visual copy to go with it, along with a little mini bio. Yeah, it works very, very well. And today they actually had a genealogy webinar on today, and I thought, oh, this will be fun. So I went along and had a look at that, and I learned some new some new tools that are coming out, and a new tool that's just come out. So I signed up for the new tool that had just come out because that was really cool. And then I kind of got sidetracked on using the new tool a little, just a little sidetracked. And what this new tool is that it now recognizes people's faces. And even if you've got a group of people like along the front here and you've got pictures of people in the background, it will even pick up the faces of the people in the background. It will pick up their side views. It will pick up partial views. If they're looking down, it just picks them up. And so I've been going through, first of all, it had to prepare everything. It had to go through all of the photos that I have uploaded, pull out all the ones with people's faces in it. And what was interesting is that there was a couple of times I got to go with Dharmic on his outings with the preschool, which was really cool. And of course, took lots of pics of him on the days and that sort of thing as well. But when they did the group photos for the kids, it picked up every one of the kids' faces. I want to know who they were, but you can hide those. So you don't have to name them. You can just hide them. So that was really cool. And I've got a lot of it done. I signed up for the 1 year thing just to see how it goes. And it didn't cost me anything because I belong to their Forever Club, and each month it puts a certain amount of money away into an account for me. So it kind of like holds it there that I can then go and use on purchases later. So was able to use my saved up money for that. So it didn't cost me anything to join the people thing for a year. Didn't have enough to get the 1 year, to get the lifetime thing, but I figured 1 year, I can get a lot done in a year. I can get a lot of photographs organized within a year. And even do like the older generation ones as well. But here's the cool thing. It picks up the baby pictures and the pictures later on. You do have to train it. Like I've come across a lot of, I didn't realize how many pictures I've taken of Dharmic, but I'm currently at over 4,000 pictures of Dharmic in there. I know it's a lot, and he's only 10. So yeah. So I've taken a lot with him, but I've got like his baby pictures in there, toddler pictures, all the way through to, the last 10 years. And so it put them into different groups because they was different ages. So now I've merged those groups together. The system learns and will now identify any other baby pictures that's got that same face and ask you if this is him, and you can just say, yes, it is. So it was actually really cool. So I've been sitting here all afternoon playing with that, and surprised at, some of the people it picks up in there. Like, I'm like, well, who's that dude? And like, one of the pictures was my niece was in the front, and there was a guy standing behind her from here up, and it recognized it as my sister-in-law's son. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. It actually labeled him with that, put it with all of his other pictures of full faces, so I could then go in and name, because I'm training it. You have to train it. It doesn't automatically put the names on there. You have to train the system as this is who these people are, because it's within in a private area for you. So it's not a public thing that will pick up pictures all over the place of that particular person. No, it's just within your account, within your storage space. And the cool part about this is that you actually purchase the storage space. You're not renting it, which is kind of nice. And it means that some of those other things out there can't come in and take your photographs, which is even better. So a little bit of security on there. So yes, I've been having fun today doing all of that. And then yesterday I finally got emailed through the report of Zeffie with her blood sugar levels and all of that, and on the different level that they measure. And it was not a good report at all. It kind of hit me hard, but so I let that it's just percolating back there right now. They're recommending doing the ultrasound with the chest x-ray, but that's only a 40% chance of picking up any tumors on her pancreas. And then the next one is a CT scan, which is a 70% chance of picking up the tumors in her pancreas. And then the last one is the actually opening her up and getting in there and palpitating the pancreas to see if there's any tumors there. And I'm sort of like, do I really want to put her through all of that? So I've got a couple of weeks to think about it. So I'm kind of thinking about it. But then I had an epiphany. This was huge. Well, I think it was huge. And I ran it past a friend of mine who's also a pet lover. And she says, yeah, let's, try it. You can't, you got nothing to lose. So what it was is that I look back over the timeline with Zeffie. When did her issues start? Could there be something that we're doing now that we weren't doing back before that may have caused this? And I even sent an email off to the vet, copying everybody on the thing, because she had copied the primary care vet as well. So I sent it back to the internist along with copying her primary care vet. And basically it came down to this. I'd found out for moving to New Zealand when we go into quarantine that there is a particular dog brand that both the quarantines use, which is available here in the States. And so I thought, well, we're going to have to switch her over at some point. And I had just started a bag of her regular food. And so I had her on the regular food, and then I started introducing the other one. And I took a whole 4 weeks to transfer her, a whole month to transfer her from her old food to this new food. And I was like looking at it, and I was kind of a little concerned about some of the ingredients in there, especially the first 4 ingredients. And I was sort of like, yeah, she's never had grain. She's never had byproducts. She's never had food, never had food with grain in it, never had food with byproducts in it, never had food with gluten in it. And there was all this other stuff that was in there as well. So, and And so I thought, well, this will be interesting. But the transition seemed to go okay. And then a week after her transition was complete, so she'd been on the new dog food for a whole week, 100% the new dog food for a week. When her issues started, with her having issues with when we were coming back from exercise, having issues from her walks and stuff, like she'd just stop there and stare. And she couldn't move. She'd kind of like freeze in place and stuff. And this is weird. So I'd pick her up or she'd start stumbling and things like that. And I'm like, this is weird. I didn't make any connections with that. And so we followed this along. And then she started having, then of course, 2 weeks after that, after she'd been on the stuff for a week, she'd been on the new food for 100% for a week when she started having the issues with walking and stumbling and things like that. 2 weeks later is when she had her first seizure. And then she kept having these seizures. And so we finally put her on the steroids to stop the seizures. And that's when we went to the internist and we found out about this whole thing about canine insulinoma, which are these cancerous tumor things that attack the pancreas and cause it to overproduce insulin, which causes her blood sugar levels to drop. So this test that she had done, that I got the results for on Friday, looks at her average over the last 2 to 3 weeks. What has her blood glucose level been at over the last 2 to 3 weeks? The average came back at 162, 163, which is below the 174, which is their low mark. So even on steroids, and she takes it twice a day. It's actually, the steroids she takes actually last 24 hours, but she gets it twice a day, once every 12 hours. And so they want to keep it up. So with her blood sugar levels coming back at that, we're sort of like, yeah, she's not going to get down to 1 tablet a day because it's taking 2 to maintain her close to the low level of her blood glucose things. So then I was sort of like, So yesterday I was like thinking about all of this and thinking of the timelines and things. And I suddenly thought, wonder if she's having an allergic reaction to the new food, or having a reaction to the new food, especially with the first 3 products being grain byproducts and stuff with gluten in it. And so I went and started having a look, and there was like this list like this of ingredients that I was reading through. Then I went and had a look back at her old food. Now, her old food, the brand that we used to give her, she has had since day one, since the 16th of November, 16th of November 2019, she has been on that food continuously up until we did the transition to the new food starting in October. So she has spent the last almost 5 years, because we had our 5-year gotcha date last November. So almost 5 years, she had been on the same dog food consistently all the way through. Now, twice a year, we would get like a raw food where they like dry freeze it instead of baking it at high temperatures, or we would get another flavor and we would mix it in. She would never be off that old food, but we would mix in the new stuff that was grain-free, no byproducts, no soy, no wheat, no gluten, this whole list of non-stuff. So we would mix that in. I'd mix that in twice a year, do that just to give her a little variety. And but she's been on this one dog food it was almost 5 years, because we took her off it just before her actually she went off it probably around her anniversary date. Her anniversary gotcha date was the last time she had it. And I suddenly thought, I wonder if she's having a reaction. Her body is now reacting to this influx of grain, gluten, and byproducts, which she has never had before. Not even in her treats. Her treats are all grain-free, gluten-free, soy-free, blah, 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 blah. And so I thought, I wonder if she's having a reaction. And so I sent off this note to the doctor, to the vet, the internist, and copied my CP stating, this is what she used to be on. Then we made the change to this because this is what the quarantine places use in New Zealand. Could part of what she's going through have something to do with the fact that for 5 years she has been on this food and never had any of these ingredients? Could this be playing the part? And I said, I'm actually going to start testing it out now. I am going out to this evening and I'm going to purchase her old brand and start incorporating that into a food and weaning her off the new stuff back onto the old brand again. And so we came home, we went out last night to PetSmart. We got the brand that she used to have, which turned out to be half the price of the brand that she's now using of the new stuff. And brought it home, and I've got a half cup measure that I use. So I put half a cup of that in, half a cup of now with the new brand, I actually have 2 different bags. One is just the straight one for medium-sized dogs. The other one is for medium-sized dogs, digestive support, or I think it's called something to do with, it's meant to help the digestion. Since she's been on that digestive one, she has been farting like crazy. But this is how smart my dog is. So in the family room, we have just a small fan that sits on the floor just to blow the breeze around and that sort of thing. And it points over towards the couches where we sit at night. My dog has figured out that if she lays in front of the fan when it's on and puts her head close to the front of the fan, if she farts, she doesn't smell it. The problem is that her butt is directly pointed to where I am sitting. I'll let you figure that one out. And of course, when I ask her if she farted, she just puts her head up, sniffs, can't smell anything, and just lays back down and goes to sleep. That's how smart my dog is. So she's figured out how to get around I can't smell my own smell. True story. When I figured that out, I was like, oh, that darn dog. And of course, it's an oscillating fan too. So it's, I can't kind of like angle it away. Although I could put it on, because I like it having the air moving with the oscillating thing. Yeah, so she's figured that one out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Smart dog. But I did notice that last night, she didn't have any gas emissions last night. She did wake me up this morning. She did wake me up twice during the night to go out, which actually she woke me up 3 times last night. 3 times? No, 1 time to go out and twice to get on the bed. Because part of the issue with her being on the steroids, hello balloons. Part of the issue with her being on the steroids is that she's not jumping as much. She's unable to jump up as much as she could, and she's kind of it's kind of playing with her night vision. It used to be I could sleep through the night and she would get off the bed, go out, have something to eat, have something to drink, and come back to bed and get back on the bed, no problem at all. The last 3 weeks now, we've noticed that, first of all, I noticed that if it is low light, like if we're in the garage, before I open the garage door and I've just got the garage lights on in there, she can't judge the distance to jump into the car safely. So I actually have to pick her up and put her into the car. The last 2 weeks, she's been resisting that. This morning, she was quite happy. She just stood there while I picked her up and put her in. Usually she walks around a bit and you got to grab her harness and haul her back so you can do that. But, and she'll try and jump up and smack into the side of the seat and fall down and then to like shake herself off. It's like, what happened? And now she's become nervous about jumping into the car. If we are outside in bright sunshine, she doesn't have that issue. She's just sort of like straight up and in there. In the evenings when we go to bed, I normally have the bedside lamp on and she would just jump up, no problem at all. Now I actually have to have the main light on in the bedroom. So it's bright light. Yes, try that before 1 o'clock in the morning after you've been asleep for at least a couple of hours. So I've got to put the light on and then she can jump up on the bed. But even then, she is nervous about jumping because she hesitates. She like goes to jump and then she'll hesitate and walk around in circles for a bit and then she'll just turn around and jump. And she's barely making it onto the bed. And so that's the only way she can get on the bed is if the big light's on. And so she woke me up twice to get on the bed in the middle of the night and then wants to go outside. We're trying to get her to sleep through the night. So I'm just kind of hoping doing this transition of food is also going to help the night business as well. But we're going to give it a go. And so this morning she woke up with a big release of gas, which was not as potent as it has been. That's just what I'm going to say. It's not as potent as it has been. And I've noticed today throughout the day, she's been not as gassy. She has been gassy a bit, but nowhere near as much as she has been through the rest of the days. Hey, sweetie girl. Oh, here she comes now. Yes, we're talking about you. And so the brand, put her back onto the original brand. And I didn't actually realize, but the one that I was getting her before was for skin and stomach. And so she's back on that and we'll see how that goes. Plus she's getting probiotics as well twice a day. There's one that it's got 4 tablets a day. So I give her 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. And I'm wondering if I need to switch that to once, but we'll see how it goes. I give it to her after she's eaten, after she's had her steroids. So we'll go and give her a steroid now and then we'll head out the door and go for our walk. But that's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. As far as all the sorting in the house goes, it is still ongoing. And I have stuff up for sale on OfferUp, on Craigslist, on Nextdoor, on Facebook Marketplace. So I have stuff up for sale. And I got to remove one of the projectors today, which was really funny because I started taking it off on the other sites, and then I got a note through on OfferUp asking if it was still available. And I says, no, sorry, it's just been sold. It has literally just sold. So yeah, it had just been sold. Like I had cash in hand from the person that turned up, gave me cash, and we're getting in the car when the message came through. And I was already on I already had it off Facebook Marketplace. I already had it off Nextdoor. And then this message came through on OfferUp asking if it was still available. I said, I've just sold it. And but I said, but I have another one available. I've got this one available. But I haven't heard anything back to see if he's interested in the other one. So somehow I ended up with 2 projectors. I'm not sure how, but yeah. So the other projector also does 110 and to 240 volts, which means all I need to do in New Zealand is put an adapter plug on it to go into their sockets down there, and it comes with a screen. So I'm actually thinking that I might actually pull that and take that to New Zealand with me, because it comes with a 100-inch screen, and then I can just put that up on the wall. And my brother's a little handy with some electronic stuff, so I might get him to help me wire it into the ceiling and stuff, and see if he can help me with that. So we're going to find a house first. But it's just a little compact. The box is like about this long, about 12 inches long the box is about 12 inches long, about 6 or 7 inches wide, and about that much deep. So it's not a big space. I could probably stick it in my luggage and take it with me if I wanted to do it that way. But I don't need it till I get into the house, so that's fine. I'm already planning how things are going to be wired in the house, in the room where I don't even have a house yet, but I've already figured out how I'm going to do the sound system and the projector and all of that stuff too. So yeah, anyway, we're going to go for a walk now. So I'm going to go put my vest on. I've got my shoes on. I've got my glasses right here. Keys are in my pocket. Got the flashlight in this pocket. I'm good to go. I just got to I have to put her harness on and get her leash. So we're almost ready. We'll be out the door in 2 minutes. But go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. If you're interested in signing up for Forever for a free account, just scan this code here. Forever is a permanent digital space, secured. You purchase the cloud space, so it's not rented, and you're the only one that has access to that cloud space for your photographs and documents and that sort of stuff as well. Plus, you get a $20 coupon off your first purchase too. And I think, if I remember correctly, you get 2 gigabytes of storage for free to start, which is why I use it for my genealogy clients. So anyway, with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at